Welcome back, everyone, to day two, week two of season 9 of DBDLeague. Today is a very special day for all of us in the DBDLeague team. Today is the birthday of our beloved friend, leader, and amazing caster, Direwolf. His vision, guidance, and unwavering dedication inspire us all. The passion for the competitive DBD scene, for fair judgment, for making this here a better place. For more than 2 years, he has been leading our team, organizing events and tournaments, and doing his best to reach a new level. Here's to a day filled with joy and a year ahead brimming with success, happiness, and endless achievements. We love you, Dire. Today, I'm being joined by Rayoxium. We're going to have Ariandel versus Calamity as our first match of the day, and then, I believe, Sinners versus Oh Boy after. How are you doing, Ray?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. It's wonderful to be back again for another day, especially because we have such interesting matchups. Like you said, we have Ariandel versus Calamity and Sinners versus Oh Boy. Very wonderful games. And we also have some wonderful killer picks. I'm excited for them all. Is there anything in particular, Cole, that you are looking forward to?
I want to see the Cenobite set, honestly. I think that's the first one I've seen for this event. I don't know if we've had any previously. I think there was one yesterday that I missed. But I saw that Cenobite had been moved down a tier, and I was curious to see how this was panning out in this season.
And he is on Dead Dog, I believe, and I can see the builds that everybody picks. If you guys didn't know, we have the killers and survivors submit their builds beforehand, and I can definitely see that they're not allowed as many perks as they have been previously. So it's definitely going to be fun and interesting. I do believe there was a Cenobite game yesterday. I remember it was a very interesting match, and it was very, very fun to watch. I was not casting for it, I was just watching. I'm particularly excited for our very, very first game we have, which is a Billy set. I love watching those Billy sets. He is an incredibly strong killer after his buff. He is actually very, very top tier, and survivors are allowed quite a lot of stuff against him. And, luckily for you, the Pinhead set is the second set, so it isn't guaranteed. We also have a tiebreaker of Wraith, which is an incredibly good set, too. So I'm particularly excited about these first games. Two wonderful, amazing teams. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, for the Billy set, I'm curious about how this one is going to pan out throughout the whole season because after the rework, when we saw that he started getting promoted to the S tier for basically every event, but for here we were seeing he was being treated almost like an S minus, where it's like, okay, you're in tier one, but we're gonna make sure that you can't have Deli and Dead Hard and Unbreakable against him, and it seems like Billy is the most lethal of the tier 1 killers that we have. He's performing better than Blight for sure. He's performed better than Spirit did, and we don't talk about the nurse set.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely a killer. That's just, I think us as a community are very hesitant to say a killer has actually been brought up to the S tier. But like you've said, the results kind of speak for themselves. We've had very, very little escapes against Billy's. Of course, there have been a couple games where people are managing to get outs, but that's so very rare. I would say an expected result against a Billy. It's incredibly wild. It could be 4K3, 4K2, 4K1. It's very unheard of for teams to actually get outs. So, like you said, there's just so much. There's so many more restrictions for the Billy player. Survivors get a lot more. They're not allowed to have Deli, also, just like what you said. So we'll have to see what these matchups have in store for us. I'm very excited.
Yeah, when we talk about the restrictions that we've had for some of these higher tier killers, we've been seeing a lot of adaptations into hex oriented builds with Ruin cropping up very, very common, and also the killers bringing Undying alongside of it and Devour Hope or Pentimento frequently. And with Penti being in play, well, I'm pretty sure Penti's banned for S tier, so I don't think we'll see it on Billy. But we're seeing survivors simply accept the fact that Ruin is going to be in the game, not cleansing the totems because they don't want to, worry about that. But with this build adaptation, Billy players have been going for almost a pseudo hit and run style where they just chain slug over and over and use Ruin to keep progressing the gens while they're bouncing back and forth and not even going for pop or pain res or eruption or anything like that along the way.
Mm-hmm. Billy, he's actually, I would say, the most mobile killer in the game. We do know Blight has famously been stuck at S tiers for a very long time. However, he does have a power and a cooldown while Billy does not. So he is able to slug, he's able to do hit and run. If a survivor is caught out, his power is good enough to actually get downs pretty quickly. So you said it as well. The Hex Rune build is incredibly popular. It takes a long time to find it, especially because Billy's map is Blood Lodge. While it is an Azarov spawning for totems, it's such a big map. So if the survivors don't just happen upon it, they're not entirely sure where it is, but they do have to take that time that could be better spent picking up a slug teammate, unhooking somebody, doing some generators. So it takes a long time to actually get through all of these perks as Billy, which makes him so lethal and so fun to watch. I feel like we've talked so much about Billy, but he is just a very interesting killer. It's so incredibly fun to see a killer go from a very low tier, like tier 2, tier 3, maybe, all the way up to S tier. It's very, very interesting to see the buffs come into play.
Yeah, we talked a fair bit about Billy. One killer that we have not really talked a lot about for this matchup is actually Wraith, and I really want to see a sort of a bounce back from Calamity on this one, because we saw in the first week of season 9, Calamity actually picked this killer against Tremor, and it was very tragic. They had a 1k3 on the killer side, and then we're 4k1. So we saw this as the tiebreak, and I really want to see Calamity coming back with a better performance on this one.
For sure, especially because it's like same ping, right? It's close to the same ping, which can be kind of dastardly for Wraith sets, especially because his map is, I think it's Dead Dog for this rule set, and Dead Dog has a lot of playable palettes. So if you are a very good Wraith and you are very good at the 1v1 kind of mind games, it is very, very, you are definitely going to be a lot stronger. Of course, you do have to deal with just the map in general. You know, you've got Shack, you've got Made Building. Survivors have some exhaustions, I believe. I'm only seeing like maybe one here, which is head on. So
Only
that'll
have
be
that on.
very interesting to see if we are able to get to tiebreaker. Here's hoping. I love seeing all three matchups from each side. I'm not sure when we're going to start.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be spending a decent amount of time on DDS in the back half of this matchup. So I hope y'all are a big fan of tumbleweeds and cacti and wooden structure. And it appears we are about ready to load in, so we will be right back with you after a short break. All right, folks, we are kicking off Ariandel versus Calamity with Bubo on the Billy, looking for Calamity survivors, and we are already seeing he is in fact bringing that Ruin Undying build, and he will get the aura reading onto Laser, seen to the Undying totem, and now he will be taking his sprint burst up towards a rock for some safety, but Bubo is just going to leave him and go pressure somewhere else. Does not feel like chasing in crush, and it is Laxton who is caught out a little bit, does not have any pallets, and Bubo is actually in overdrive, and that will be a very quick first down. Laxton not quite able to make that pallet.
Very, very early down. Billy is incredibly lethal, and you saw that right there. He had a chase, he had Laser, but he decided not to go for him and was rewarded by getting Lactrin down. 2 of our Hex totems are already cleansed. Like we were talking about the campfire chat, Billy does have the lethality, able to leave chases, able to pressure the map, but he is down to 3 perks now, as only has Pop Goes a Weasel left. So we'll see what Bubbo is able to pull through. Very early down though, very good. Is already on the chase with Hind here as well.
Yeah, this is going to be very difficult to play around. He does use the crouch to not get chainsaw, but he has nowhere to go. He gets curved there. It's just so hard. I think he really wanted to try and get a smash hit off the tower, but he has to pre-drop it, and the smash hit's just not going to quite help him out there. But with 2 totems being down, Bobo's going to have for a while Paco's the Weevil for Gen Pressure. He is still going to slug anyway, but he's going to have a little bit of a harder time snowballing without their Ruin to back him up.
Well, you said he does have slowdowns for Pop Goes the Weasel, but he also has slugging, which he is definitely doing right here, trying to get Lactrin to go into struggle. You can't have perks like Decisive Strike if the survivors never get off the hook, and I think that's what Bobo is looking for. He instead goes right back as well. Lactrin goes to struggle. Hein is bleeding all over the place, definitely showing wherever he is. Rocket, I believe, was committing to a generator trying to get one banged out while Laser was there for the pickup. They don't have too much generator progress, and Lactrin is dangerously close to dying at 5 gens.
Yeah, this is a difficult position because one of the unfortunate characteristics of Autohaven maps is how often you can just have these dead zones, and that's kind of where Lactrin is hooked. So he had his second stage secured basically for free, but Bubo is able to just go back to this hook whenever he feels like it, and if you get caught going for that save, you are just dead. You've got a truck pallet that Lactrin couldn't quite make earlier, and there's nothing else. There's a hill here, so they basically can't send anyone to save because they have nothing to protect them.
There is no filler pallets around in this area. Bobo is very excited about this. He is standing right here, making sure nobody comes in for the save. Little does he know, we do have our last 3 survivors who are just chucking away on generators, trying to get more pressure. It is definitely looking like this might not even be out. Even though we are playing against a very good team, Bobo himself is a very good killer. We're trying to find out whoever was working on this, and it is Hein, who is M1able as well. Will we see an M1 happening, though? He definitely seems to want to go for some curves, which, you know, is very dangerous with Billy. He has the iridescent add-on that makes you faster while you are... Oh, gosh, it was so close! While you are chainsawing, and also it was in overdrive. Here we go. We don't have a little bit of bamboozle, so that window is still open, and we don't even make that. Billy is so fast. They're doubling that generator that Hein was diligently working on, so possibly it will get done. Yes! Okay, so we do have 3 generators done. That is already a better result than what could have happened in the very early stages. Calamity showcasing that they are not out of the game just yet.
Oh yeah, I think Calamity will be happy to try and get at least one more gen done. 4K1 is a very respectable result, especially for that death coming in so early. We were seeing also Hein had some very good reads in his chase. You can't really like make loops against overdrive and engravings, but you have to flare out to try and make the Billy miss, because you're almost making a 50-50, right? Is the Billy going to curve tightly or is he going to go wide? And Hein just made that read, and now he's back in chase. Now he does have DS smash hit, so if he's able to find a pallet to die on, he can get DS into smash hit, but he does not quite make it to 1. This will still be that famous 5-second DS and distance to wherever he wants to go, probably Fun Bus, and then attempting to chain it into Shack, which he will go in that direction. That will buy him some time, but Bubo does not appear to want to commit to this chase. He will go and make sure that survivors are not popping that last gen, but Laser's very close to popping his gen, which is about 2/3. Rocket's sort of stealthing away from his hill gen, but Bubo is probably not going to commit there very far, and will find Laser working on this gen instead.
They do have a lot of generator progress. I believe that was a pop. That might not have been a Pop Goes the Weasel kick, actually. It's been quite a lot of time. He does just give it a healthy, dry kick right there. And then these 2 survivors are grouped up, trying to get this hill generator done right where Lactrin did meet his end. So these 2 survivors are pressuring 2 separate generators. Shack is over here as well. The map is sort of split. Once again, it is Billy, so he can go back and forth. Bobo is not wasting any time just looking. He wants to find an easy, quick down, which he is seeming to find right here on Rocket. Will he win this 50-50 mind game? Will he crouch by this? Nope, he does get that, and he does lithe away closer into the map, trying to get away from all those generators. Jesus, Billy's so fast. Does get the stun, though, buying just those extra couple precious seconds. Laser must be so close to getting his generator done. That will make it so there is... Ooh, it's so very close. Laser's leaving so early, but Bobo knows what is happening. He knows where he is. Laser is kind of trapped here at this LT wall. However, he doesn't have bamboozle, so it's not a completely free down, and we do have a filler pallet right here. Bobo doesn't care. He's going to go back to that hill, which they also have a lot of progress. It's looking like it's definitely going to at least be a 4K1, if not all generators done.
Yeah, the chases here are starting to go very well for the survivors of Calamity, but Rocket now getting caught in a position where he doesn't actually have any pallets. This is very curvable, but he might just end up getting back rev here if he's not careful. he's not a whole lot of agency he has. Bubo should be able to get this down unless he bumps, and that will be down to Rocket, but a generator is completed for that. It was laser gen, and so Bubo actually going to go ahead and go for a slug here and try and pressure the hill gen, but I'm pretty sure there are no survivors there, so it's a little bit of a goose chase as we have his teammate off in the corner.
Yeah, his teammate off in that corner, like you said, that is laser, and he hopped immediately onto the generator in Shack. And Bubbo does not want to give this slug up either. He wants to pick it up. Nobody is nearby, though, because we know that Hein would be making injured sounds, making him a lot easier to track down. So we're going to take this mid-hook right here. I'm not sure if Bubbo did kick that generator on hill. If he had kicked it, that means he can't apply Pop Goes a Weasel. It seems that maybe he's looking for the save. And does he hear it? Hein is so dangerously close. Does he know? Oh, he knows now. Able to kick that pallet right there. And he's gonna go for the slug possibly on Hein here. Oh, goes for such a fast curve, but no dice. He does get able to drop that pallet right there. Oh gosh. This is so scary, dude. I could not play against this. This is just, it's so intense.
Laser had to leave his gen to go for that unhook, but now this might actually just be a down onto him as well, and that means Bubo knows where all survivors are, and he has 2 injured, so he doesn't even have to go for chainsaws now if he wants. But more importantly, when you have all of your teammates injured, it is so difficult to go for unhooks, even more so against a Billy, but we do at least have a pretty decent gen spread, but Bubo will be able to just slow down all of these with the Pop Goes Weasel coming in. And this is where the survivors have to try and find an opportunity to reset. But this guy gives Bubo time to camp with the fact that he's so inclined. Or he can try and find out where the savior might be coming from. Once again, Hein sort of hovering in position like he was previously, while Rocket pressures on Laser's gen. But Bubo just kind of holding this hill to see that no one can get to this. But he suspects there's a survivor that's over in this tile. There is no one there, so that might be a little for Hein to get that level, but he's not here to be coming through, so Bubo is just gonna hover here. This is giving over the Shack gen for free, I think.
It's getting a lot of progress. It's getting really, really close to getting done. I'm not sure if Bubbo knows it's so close. Even if he left right now, I'm not sure he would even be able to stop it. Calamity showcasing just how organized and generator aggressive they can be. I'm sure if Bubbo... Oh gosh, it's probably gonna get done by the time he gets there. It's gonna be so close. Does he commit? He does commit! That means that they get all generators done from a death at almost 5 gens, about at 4. To this is just insane. Calamity is showcasing just how aggressive they can be, even playing against a killer that is aggression by definition.
Yeah, Rocket does have a good killer pallet play there. He also still has Shack pallet up here, and he's just going to go for the window. This will buy him so much time. Rocket should be able to buy plenty of time for the rest of his teammates to try and get these gates open, but I think they're both kind of around where Chase is, if I'm not mistaken. But unfortunately for Bubo, as soon as he leaves the hook, he doesn't quite make it to the Shack in time to interrupt the gen, but then also Laser gets unhooked after going second, so Bubo's going to head back to the other side of the map, but that gate's already been done. They're just going to leave, and now Rocket gets hashed. This is... Is he?
Oh my god, he's able to get it! Rocket body blocks the hatch, and the Billy, I'm sorry. The Billy is not able to kick it, resulting in a 3-man out. That is insane. A crazy result against a Billy, jeez.
For how quickly Laction was taken out of the match, I genuinely thought this was going to be a 4K1, 4K0 at best, but Calamity really pulled through. They had ridiculous gen progress. They were getting all of their timings quite right, and it pays off in a huge way.
So we are going to take a moment. Everybody, don't go anywhere. We're going to switch sides. We are going to have Calamity's killer going against Ariandel survivors. Same set. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We have taken a moment. We have switched sides. Now we have Calamity killing against Ariandel survivors. This was Ariandel's pick, though, so we'll have to see what Calamity is able to pull through. We have a very interesting result to play for. We have 7 stages for Fresh, so we'll have to see if this Billy can pull it out. We are seeing more of a Billy build here. Oh gosh, another amazing down right there. These Billies know exactly what they're doing. Well, they are curving. We don't exactly have Ruin, Undying, Corrupt like we did last game. We have Pop, Ruin, Bamboozle, and Agitation. Very, very aggressive build. Cole, what do you think? What do you think the result is going to be this game?
I feel like Billy should be an expected forte on this map usually, especially given it feels like no matter how well the survivors play, the Billy is able to secure a very early first down. And one of the nice perks of agitation here, so to speak, is the ability to just drag the survivor wherever you want them to be and take advantage of these dead zones that you can get on this map. The perk I'm confused about more than anything is Bamboozle. We've seen for years Bamboozle was like a staple Billy perk, but after the rework with Overdrive and Engravings, you really don't need Bam to play around tiles that much, and this map, Blood Lodge in particular, it's mostly pallets. There are not often that many windows you really feel the need to play around, and you also have so much agency to just leave the chase and go bother someone else, because you can be wherever you want to be at any time, but right now we're seeing Billy basically cosplaying as Huntress, camping someone on a hook from a hill, and Hardwell getting a little bit sniped. That is a very, very tragic, because not only is this now a survivor going to second stage on hook, a survivor being down, but they are on the same side of the map. Yokot can just hold this hill, and he can see anyone trying to cross with their teammates. This is going to be extremely difficult to recover from, but we did see Calamity pull it off in the previous game, something like it, so I would not count out the survivors of Ariandel just yet.
This is almost an exact repeat of what happened last game, except Calamity had to take the time to cleanse both totems. So are we actually seeing enough generator pressure happening here? But we also have them playing so hyper-aggressive, they're just trying to get this unhooked, and they're not able to get it so close with the help of Leader, making that faster, but it wasn't enough. We do see the save happening onto Bubba right there. Does he have Decisive Strike? Does he not? We don't know. Hardwell will take his first hook right here, though, and another generator gets done. That's 2 generators done. We still have Hex Ruin up. Like you said, we are seeing a little bit of Bamboozle happening, but we're not seeing any windows being bammed. We're just going around, we're pressuring the map. Do we have... Oh, we had the generator touched a little bit, so we know that somebody was here, except we did see Bubbo over here. Is he still here? Yes, he is indeed. We still have Shack Pallet up. Do we get the hit? We don't! Oh my gosh, his ping is so good. And we do see the save happening from Hardwell. Bamboozle coming into play just right there. Are we gonna see another wonderful curve happening? These Billies are so exciting to watch. They're playing so very well. And the survivors are also playing out of their mind. We're trying to get to the pallet, but we don't make it in time. And we're gonna take a fat, juicy M1.
That was unironically the Bamboozle value we were expecting, but we do actually see Yokot sniffing out the save that might be coming in from Exize here. Bubbo is in a dire situation. He is on death hook, so we could have this death at 3 gens, but that is still a little bit of a better situation for the survivors, depending on the kind of gen progress than what we had in the previous game with Raxton's early death. So now Yokot is entering his 3v1. He still has Ruin intact. On top of that, Fox goes the Weasel. He will go ahead and see if he can find someone who has been working crosshunt. Does see a faint hint of scratch marks running off towards the top side of the map, and he will find Arima sort of on this killer pallet. Will drop the firecracker, try and top a curve, but that will not last for long, and the curve not quite coming in, and that with the bump that will buy Arima some distance, but Yokot is going to leave and see if he can find survivors towards where he was earlier. Actually, main building now being pressured by Exize. Gonna play his pallet and try to go for a smash hit, but it does not quite happen. Not a smash, actually.
Just a sprint burst, but he does not have enough distance to pick it to the next tile and will go down. We already have 4 stages out here. Hardwell is on fresh. Exize will be his fresh hook. First one right here. And we don't have too much generator progress to speak of. Like you said, we do still have Hex Ruin up, meaning that if you are not working on a generator, it's just regressing. So we're doing a very good job of pressuring the map. The survivors are playing so well, but this Billy is playing out of his mind. We do have a little bit of urban evasion. We have a little dinosaur here waiting to possibly try to go for the save underneath the Billy's nose. He's in overdrive. Will he be getting caught out? That would spell bad news for this team, so he is playing so very carefully.
It's a really funny use of urban evasion because I'm unsure why he canceled the unhook there.
I'm not sure. He might have been able to commit to that. Maybe he was expecting the Billy to try to curve in, and he was trying to go for a hit on the survivor on the hook. but he will be going to struggle because the Billy can just sit here and face camp. There is no hope for that unhook. This Claudette says, I'm just going to work on this generator that is right next to the unhook because Billy does not want to be leaving this. No, he does not. There's only one other survivor out there. We know that this Dwight does not have Unbreakable. I don't believe Unbreakable is allowed versus a Billy, or else we'd be seeing it. I'm not seeing it on any of the survivors' builds, so no, Unbreakable is not allowed.
And this is a very cozy situation for Yokot because he knows he only needs 8 stages. He's already got 3 out of Bubbo. Exiles is giving him 2 more. Hardwell's giving 1. He's at 6 stages already, and he's got his FreshBook Survivor slugged on the ground. So everything he needs is on the survivors he's already beaten and chased. And even now, he can just continue face camping, and the survivors just physically do not have the time to complete enough gens before he gets his 7th stage with Exiles' death. But he's also able to pressure the Shack gen, which he now suspects has been being worked on, while still basically essentially face camping Exiles. And the thing we're saying with Arima here is it's very odd because for how long did we think of Urban Evasion as a, I'm immersed, I'm scared of the killer, I'm just going to hide around the map perk. But we started seeing it used in comp as an actual chase perk, and to see it actually used in that more of a, okay, I'm going to stealth to the hook way is so very funny, honestly.
And we do see the passing of Exiles. We'll see in the next game, buddy. GG, well played. Arima and Hardwell are the only ones left. However, there are 3 generators that need to be repaired, and then also, they need to bolt escape without giving out a single health state. It's kind of difficult, especially with the killer like this that can't pressure the map with Hex Ruin still up. Goes for a fat swing right there. The Dwight does not want to stay anywhere near that pallet. Are we going to see another curve happening here? Baits it, gets him away from the pallet. We're going to see another one. No, he might just have enough distance to get an M1. How good is the ping? The ping is good, meaning that we're not going to be hit through that pallet. Hardwell playing very aggressive, does get that generator done right underneath the Billy's nose. Now all they need to do is just do 2 more generators. Should be easy, right? Like, this killer isn't insane or anything.
No, absolutely not. And you definitely have all of your pallets on the map still up. But the Bam Brain takes over for a bit, and this is going to force Hardwell to leave the loop. He does have at least enough not body blockers. He has enough materials to put in his way to stop the chainsaw from connecting for now. That is not going to be a successful crouch tag, and now Yokot just has to find the last remaining survivor to secure that 4K2, although he can just secure his win off of Hardwell if he so chooses, but this will be Arima being found out. The curve on the tile where Arima has just left. We will have a little first evasion to the pallet.
Yep, and we know from both sides that this game is over. This first game, this first match set will be going to, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but see, the nice thing now, right? Now that we know the actual outcome of the match is we can play for clips. That's the important part here.
Sorry, I had to cough. Anyway, yes, this first set will be going to Calamity for playing insane out of their minds. This was not their killer pick. Keep in mind. So the next set we will definitely have to see if Ariandel can keep it going through, maybe possibly trying to get to the tiebreaker. They're gonna just clean up the rest of these survivors. There's no deliverance. There's no slippery meat. There's no unhooking yourself. So this will be the concluding of the first trial. We just need to find our slug and place him happily upon a hook to send back to the campfire. And we will be seeing Pinhead next, who is played on Dead Dog. And I know you said you were pretty excited to see it. How so, Cole?
Honestly, I just like watching survivors suffer. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, they do suffer indeed in Pinhead sets. You know, we've got the original Pain add-on, I believe, that puts survivors into Ment, which can make unhooking scenarios very dangerous.
Yeah, and I remember, it was a couple months ago, you had made a personal enjoyment of killers in comp tier list, and you specifically said that you like Pinhead as long as original Pain is banned. Well, unfortunately...
Oh god, yes.
We are going to see Impaling Wire original Pain every set, except for the few mad lads who still run Greasy Black Lens. Mm-hmm. I would be expecting that. But so as the last survivor is taken back to the campfire, we will be preparing for a short break before Calamity gets the opportunity to play Pinhead first and try and secure a 2-0, or we will see if Ariandel can mount a comeback after this short break. Welcome back, everyone, to set 2 of Calamity versus Ariandel. Calamity, after taking that first set, will be kicking off the Pinhead set. This is the killer they chose, and Marco will find that box immediately. Good read on the box on logic. This will start that chain hunt, and he will see 3 survivors on his screen. Only 3, because one of those survivors is, in fact, bringing Calm Spirit, which will probably be the survivor we should expect to go looking for that box straight away. But for now, that chain hunt will be slowing down the survivors early into the match. It does not appear that Marco is on anyone at the moment.
Finding the box can be pretty easy if you are a good Pinhead, because there is some logic behind the spawns. Hardwill did find the box after... Oh my god, he's actually incredibly close. But Marco does not care. This is Calamity's set pick, so we can expect some incredible Pinhead plays. They probably have practiced this a lot. We are seeing a lot of chasing happening here by the Gallows side, which is deceiving. It has a lot of good playable filler pallets, which Bubbo can see every single one because he does have windows of opportunity. We are seeing some wonderful chains come through on Marco. We're going to go ahead and break Shack Pallet of 5 gens, and we are in Mend. Just like we were talking about earlier, we are seeing some original pain and impaling wire coming through on the Pinhead side. We're gonna make it to main, which is a pain in the ass to chase because it just takes so very long. It is an almost guaranteed death, but it takes so long. And we also have Hardwell, who's making his way also to main. And we don't have Bamboozle, so that window is going to stay open forever and for always. We are actually seeing a bit of a less aggressive build here from Marco, a safer one. We have No-Ed, Pain Resonance, Agitation, and Corrupt Intervention. Although we are not getting a down early enough, our Corrupt Intervention is just going to naturally run out.
It's very curious to me that he's opted for this build, because previously it feels like Pinhead players have been opting for one of 2 main strategies, right? Either you're bringing Bamboozle to shut down main building, or we were seeing mainly NA Pinhead players bring Save the Best for Last and try and simply 2-tap you with Save the Best for Last into a chain before you can make it to main. But Marco not having either of those things is really starting to struggle a bit with the chase around main building, and we're seeing these survivors are just able to make safety, and the downs just cannot come in. Maybe this is why we're banking on Noah for the end game, but this is really unfortunate for Marco so far.
Ooh, yeah, and we did have the first generator done before this first down happens. We do have a little bit of a sneaky survivor in the background. What is he going for? What is he planning? Maybe he's just setting up for a very early save. Not an early save, perhaps, but just trying to make himself in a position where he can get that. Oh, it's the box. Yeah, he's going to solve the box while the Pinhead is carrying somebody. Is he going to teleport to it? He does. He does get the teleport in time. 2 generators are done. I'm sure these survivors are happy with how they're being played so far. But now we do have a survivor in basement against Impaling Wire, which would get rid of the built-in borrowed time that you get by putting you into Mend. We'll see if the survivors are able to save him, or maybe they're just going to let him sit in basement. The Pinhead, Marco, does not seem to want to actually leave this area. He does actually have a dastardly 3-gen. Gallows, we have it right on top of Gallows. We have it in that deep pocket, and we also have it over here by this water tower. The survivors know this, however, and they are working on it. It's actually a 4-gen on this side as well, because that last generator is so close to all these other ones. But the survivors, they're just 3 splits. They're working on opposite generators. They're not even planning to save Bubbo, who is just sadly dying in basement.
Yeah, they should be popping, honestly, at least 2 of these gens for this death. And the problem almost is you're not getting... You are going to basically guarantee that Bubbo dies here, but we're not getting the pain resonance out of this hook anyway, so you weren't slowing down the gens that were being perfect. So now Marco might actually be committing to a chase on the Hardwell. No, he will not. He just wants to make sure that Bubbo dies and try and use his possessed chains to harass survivors off of gens, but it doesn't really amount to terribly much, and they did the same on the Bubbo anyway. So
incredibly timed as well. Jeez.
But original King can make it very easy to actually negate this base kit DP and try and go for that tunnel out. He really needs to get Bubbo killed right away and then bank on a no-ed play for the endgame. Although the gen progress is being slowed down for now, we do know there are 2, if not 3 gens that are relatively high progress, and Marco just leaving Bubbo for this, I'm not sure how well this is going to pay out.
I'm not sure either. He used so much of his time to just leave Bubbo in the basement, and he doesn't end up getting his tunnel out. Although he does know which direction Bubbo is going, it seems like he's changed his mind, and he will instead go for Bubbo. Yes, he knows exactly where he is. Will we be seeing this tunnel happen before all the generators pop, though? We still have so many resources. We have other survivors as well who are here to possibly take hits. Maybe try to get Bubba to main to the one spot of the map that is a huge time waster. Will we be seeing some other kind of loops? We have a head-on that's delaying the down even just that little bit more. He's definitely going to be making it to main. The last 3 survivors are still out there. They can still take hits. They can still harass the killer. They can still just sit on these generators if they wanted to. There's only 2 left, and they have so much progress on them. It seems Marco knows that as well. Maybe trying to go for a down on a different survivor to get some pain resonance, maybe, just to pressure them off of it, because they're just so far ahead in terms of generator progress.
It's entirely possible that with his build, he just did not think it was worth committing the time sync once Bubbo hit main, but he doesn't really have a whole lot else to show for it because all of the remaining survivors are completely healthy, so they can also just take that M1 hit and probably also make it to main as well. So you're not really going to end up in a much better situation here. We are seeing also you can slow ball power still, even when you're chained, and Arima is playing this very well. These are not terribly safe pallets, and the chains are just not connecting. The chases are just not working out. Now this will be causing our chase to sort of loosely go by the box, and Marco may be able to hear that, but he is just going to go for a tag onto Arima anyway. As the 4th gen is completed, Exiles will pick up the box, and Marco might be switching over to him, and that appears to be the case. He's going to try and use the change to interrupt that box, and he might try to go for this chain hunt on a down onto Exiles, who is now being interrupted. But now we are also able to have a reset onto Arima. Bubbo also being reset previously, and Marco just does not want to commit to main, so Exiles should be able to solve this box safely there, and then we'll get Arima reset. But now Marco actually will go for that teleport, and we will see also Hardwell says, okay, if you're going there, I'm just gonna work on these gens over here, don't mind me. Marco just actually not committing here.
You know, we can see that Ariandel is playing out of their minds. Their 1v1s are insane. They're playing so very well, pressuring this map. They have 4 survivors out. We only have 2 stages. They're just playing so very well. And keep in mind, this is also Calamity's killer pick. I don't know what it is, but you know, whenever you pick a killer, it's just you're destined to lose it. But we'll have to see, of course, what happens next match before I say anything for sure. But these survivors are playing so very well, so very organized. They're making it so that nobody is giving an inch. We have 2 injured survivors, but every single time they take a tag, they run to main. Yep, and we do see that all 4 survivors have reset. We do have these generators. There are 2 over here by Gallows. I'm not entirely sure what the last one is because it is not actually getting done just yet, although Excise is running over here. Yes, we have this generator. The map is split, and we do have the box over there. We're just pressuring this generator that has so much progress. The box is over there. It doesn't need to be solved for a little bit more time just yet. We do have Excise working on it alone while these 2 survivors are pressuring this one. But every single time they take a tag, we just run over to main, and we just go for some resets. We have 4 survivors available. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, I mean, these chases just are not working out for Marco, and especially as soon as the survivors found out that he does not have Bamboozle, it became even more of a priority to just run to main for everything, because he cannot commit to a chase there. Like, I'm really questioning this decision to bring agitation here over any other chase perk that you could have brought, which is really just backfiring. And even now, we see Bubbo is the only survivor who's been hooked. He's injured on Deathhook, and he's still positioning super aggressively in spite of that, because this generator is so close to being done. And this might be Marco's cue to say, alright, pop that gen, I dare you. I'm just going to no-ed down Arima right now. But they will actually just wait until Arima's injured anyway, which means he got the distance from the hits, and he will make main. Marco now kind of has to commit here. I don't know if this extra movement speed from no-ed will be enough, but Arima's in a position where he can just die corner here. The survivors can be very comfortable taking their 5 stages.
And it seems like that will have to be their main plan as well, because no-ed is right there in main building, and you can just see All 3 survivors, they're just running towards the exit gate. They will be taking this 5 stage 2 fresh, wonderful result against a pinhead. We'll have to see how the killer next round handles this, because this is definitely a winnable set to go for. We did have a little bit of no-eds. We were able to get another 3 stages, but it is definitely looking a little bit rough. We'll have to see what Calamity is able to pull out next game. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We're going to take a moment. We're going to switch sides, and we will be seeing Ariandel kill against Calamity.
Ladies, gentlemen, and cowboys of all stripes, we are returning to Dead Dog Saloon. It will be Bubo playing on the pinhead for Ariandel, trying to beat a 5-stage win con. Very, very doable. And we have a little bit of deja vu here, because Bubo will go straight to the same spot for that box that we saw in the first game of this set. We will be starting that chain hunt very early on, and we will have to see where the first chase will be starting. It does not appear to be on ruleset. Actually, it looks like Marco might be in his sights, but Bubo will not commit. He will instead be looking for someone behind main building. And Ray, we have seen a build adaptation here. No Agi in play. Instead, we've got that rapid brutality. I suspect it's going to be a similar logic to that whole save the best for last meta, but maybe a little bit better with the save the best for last nerf. And this chase actually now being pinned onto Marco, but there will be some pallets being dropped, and Marco could easily be able to make it to the main building if he is so inclined.
Like you said, rapid brutality is sort of a pseudo save the best for last. It works on every single survivor. It's triggered by an M1. It does let you gain a little bit more distance, hopefully to gain that distance before they do make it to main. We do have an M1, and the survivors on the wrong side of the pallet to be able to make enough distance to actually get to main. They're trying to do some amazing pathing, some good pathing by Marco, not going down just yet. We're still in the chase. Are we going to be able to make it any further? Is there any survivor here who's willing to take a body block hit? It seems like they are rotating. Yes, Jake is here. He is the savior. They are definitely making it to main, and you did see on the build that we don't have bamboozle. So, oh my gosh, and I just go down right here, out in the front, not able to make it. Maybe a little bit of rapid brutality, able to have him catch up, but we weren't able to see it. But we do know that means that there was a flashlight save, so the first down is still not happening. These 2 survivors, they are playing for their lives. They have a steep win con to go for, and we do know that Calamity is very good at pressuring all kinds of the map. Oh, and we do go for another down right here. He is underneath a pallet. Is there going to be a flashlight save again? No, the pillar right there very expertly blocks it, and we will have our first poke happening at 4 generators.
Yeah, it is a steep win con, but Pinhead is a killer that is comparatively low agency in chase. It is not that difficult for survivors to try and play around it, play for pallet saves, play for flashlight saves, play for body blocks, and delay how long these first downs are coming in. And the survivors here are going for that. And you know, Ray, we should be expecting some good pathing. This team, after all, has Rocket on it. So...
Yep, we've got some expert pathers in the game. Oh, we're trying to go for another slow vault right there, but does not have the distance. Will be going down. This will be our second stage. We're getting ever so close to that 5-stage win con. We do have another generator that's popping, possibly trying to break up any sort of 3-gen gallows shenanigans, but we are also seeing a little bit of a basement play, which is of course very hard to play around because the Pinhead does have original pain, I believe is the add-on. I almost said in pain. But we aren't even gonna camp it that hard. We're actually just gonna go for another chase here onto Pedro, who's just gonna pre-drop all of these pellets we have at Gallows just to delay any sort of hit taking, any sort of downs that could be happening. We do see a little bit of scratch marks here on basement, but I don't believe they actually fully committed to going down. So we are just kind of happily sitting at the top of the stairs. We're saying, hey, if you want to go in, go for it. I'm still gonna get you. But everybody's playing so aggressive here. We have Adam over here by main. We have somebody up here working on the main generator, and then we had, I believe, Laser, who was just trying to do the generator right next to it into that tile. We're just kind of pressuring everybody here at once. They're not exactly sticking to generators, which we saw happen for the previous game. They did have a basement hook, but they were able to chug out as many generators because the killer couldn't leave. Like you said, Pinhead's agency is a lot lower. He's not a high-tier killer, say as Billy, who can just leave freely and let the saves happen. Ooh, Marco does go to second as well, meaning that we are getting so very close. We do have a potential tunnel out that could happen. Main generator gets done. We're going over here for a dry kick on this generator. What will the survivors do? We don't know just yet.
And Bubo is just being chilling here. He knows that no matter what happens in the rest of this match, he basically only has to find one person in endgame with Noed, and then he just gets his win condition. Even if the stages don't go up from here, he just has to find either Pedro or Laser, and actually, Hein would be Ty, but once Marco dies here, which it remains to be seen if Pedro is stealthing here for the stage or for a generator. Actually, Bubo recognizing that he's there, it looks like they're not going to be able to save, so we're going to be at 4 stages and the same 2 fresh, so next hook is tie, 2 hooks is win, and you still have Noah to contend with, even though, yes, the gates are probably going, or the gens are going to pop relatively quickly. You're also going to have to be able to survive a chase in endgame against Noed, and this gen spread is fairly tightly clustered, so when that last gen pops, Bubo's going to be nearby.
Yep, it is definitely going to be hard for the survivors to pull out a win from this. And we're also on the chase of Hein, who is our first hook, mind you. So if he was on another hook, that would put him onto another tunnel out potential sort of area. And we do have a little bit of mind game happening over here. Both Killer and Survivor are playing just so incredibly patient, and Hein is able to get that stun without going down. You'll love to see it. You see a savior in the distance. Will Pedro able to? Yes, he does take the hit here, activating our rapid brutality, mind you. So maybe this next down does happen incredibly quickly. Are we able to round that corner enough time? Do we take this window vault? We do! These survivors are playing so very well. Their pathing is amazing, not giving out this second down for free. We do see another generator pop. Will Hein be able to last this much longer? I mean, if this survivor does die, that's still a win for Ariandel, though, so they have to be incredibly careful. They have to play so very well. And so, except Pedro possibly getting caught out as well. Yes, that is 2 slugs on the ground with Laser just right there in the middle. We'll be taking this hook onto Pedro.
Yeah, the survivors here are playing maybe a little bit greedy, but they don't really have a choice. It's the only way they're going to meet that win con. It does not quite work out, and Bubo is going to be meeting his win condition right here because that is 5 hooks, but it is a 3rd fresh as opposed to the 2 from the previous game. So from here on out, Ariandel has tied up the series. We will be definitely going to Wraith on this same map, but we have to finish out this game first. And the survivors from Calamity are still putting up a very incredible fight against Pinhead in this match, definitely showing why they wanted to pick this. And at this point, going for, honestly, a confidence boost going into the next set. After all, yes, you know that you've lost the set, but if you can put up a good showing, end up with a good result, you know, in a vacuum, you can be very confident when you have to play against Wraith in the next trial after this.
Both teams have shown they are incredibly good teams. They know exactly what they're doing. Just one side played just a little bit better than the other side, but it's not a blowout. There's not a huge disparity. You love to see it. Laser is stealthing here to try to go for the unhook onto Pedro, while Hein was solving the box in the corner, possibly hopping on a generator just immediately after that. We do have a sort of tight spread of generators. We have one over there at 1. We have one in the middle of the street. We have one over at Water Tower, which is 5. They're not too terribly close, but they are not perfectly split. So we'll have to see if Calamity is able to get the slash generator done. It looks like that's what they are planning. We have Hein over here, who is just diligently working on this generator by the Water Tower. Laser will be coming in for the sneaky save, possible reset in main, or they're just going to try to bang out a generator as well. Try to get a little bit more for this chase over here on Hein, who will be going down onto his 2nd stage, so he is not out of the game just yet. So the survivors might try to bang out just another generator. We still have a little bit of progress over here, unless the Pinhead hooks right on top of it, or he's going to put him right in the middle of the map, where he can patrol all of the generators and stay nearby to the hook as well.
Yeah, this is a very interesting spot. I don't remember if Hein had been pain res previously, but he will now also be going to interrupt the gen, which is being worked on by Pedro. He will now have perfect information on where everyone is, one survivor on hook, one survivor doing the box, and one survivor doing the gen nearby. The really almost tilting aspect of Pinhead is when he can just throw chains at you when you're on a gen. You know it's not really doing a whole lot to interrupt you. It's a minor annoyance, but it's really, really frustrating to have to deal with. And that is what Boobo is going to go for, as he is potentially suspecting that Laser might be wrapping around to work on Hein's gen. And if this happens, yes, the survivors can split on these gens, and we'll probably get one done, but then certainly a third survivor is going to die to Noah in endgame, as Pedro is about halfway done, so is Laser. Laser a little bit behind, but he does have Deja, so both of these gens are going to complete at a relatively similar time, but Hein is not long for this world, and Bubo will now just decide which survivor he wants to go for. In a perfect world, he would like to find Laser, as that is his fresh hook. Pedro has been hooked once previously, so a little bit less valuable, but it looks like Pedro will have vanished from that gen, so Bubo is just going to go ahead and check on that water tower gen. Certainly he suspects that Laser has gone here after that hook, and Pedro will be back on the gen. Laser pre-leaving. That should buy time. They can easily split. Pinhead just does not have map mobility unless you're going to the box, so...
We do see that he does dry kick that generator on water tower and is possibly going down to Pedro, but that time sync that happened with Hein trying to confirm his death does mean that they are able to bang out this last generator out here. They're not going to get 4K1. It's definitely, if that is going to be a 4K0, we do have Hex. No one escapes death active, meaning that one M1 hit onto a survivor will get them down. We're not able to spot Laser, who is over here, possibly, potentially. He is doing a very good job of stealthing. Dead Dog is a really, really good map for stealthing. Will he be able to spot him out? Oh my god, he's right there! He didn't see him! Oh my gosh, the bushes are OP, even with Laser having a giant blue yoga man, I think, on his back. I have no idea what that is. Pedro able to get the door open. That is at least one stage that is able to be taken away from this trial. Laser, who is worth the most health stages, though. Oh, the box! The box is going to activate, making looping just 10 times harder.
Yeah, that is our challenge for you in Twitch chat. Tell us what exactly is the thing on Renato's back on this Cosmic. We need to know, as this will be the down onto Laser, and because he has Calm Spirit, it is a silent down. Very unfortunate. This will be a 10-stage game for Pinhead, and honestly, I'm really happy with the progression that we've seen on this set. I feel like in previous events when we've seen Pinhead on DDS, it was like a guaranteed 4K1 almost always. This set got tied so often, and we're seeing survivors, I think, step up their play a little bit. This killer is not the guaranteed 4K it used to be. So we will, in fact, be going to that Wraith tiebreaker very shortly. It will be Calamity survivors again against Ariandel Killer. So they will be seeing if they can secure that tiebreak for both sides.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our last set of the matchup, Ariandel versus Calamity today. We have gotten past our first two sets, which were Billy and Pinhead. The Billy set going to Calamity, the Pinhead set going to Ariandel, or the other way around. You know, I'm not paying attention. But we are on a Wraith set. We do find our survivor pretty early. We have a Leon, who is Hein. What an amazing 1v1 mind game right there. Able to get a tag kind of early for a Wraith game. We do have all of the resources available to us, but we do see that we are taking the time to try to just make our way to main, which is famous for being a huge, huge time waster. We don't have Bamboozle again, which the survivors don't know just yet. Possibly just avoiding trying to go for those areas. We try to go for a Wraith swing right there, but we are not able to get a connection just yet. Will we be seeing a down happen in the next 30 seconds? It doesn't seem so, but we are taking the time to chase Hein here. The other three survivors undoubtedly chugging away on generators. We're trying to go for another mind game here, but Hein does not let him get the hit for free. Instead, is probably going to be dying in this far corner. Do we have a body block that's coming in? No, we do not. First down happening. The other survivors are chugging away on generators. We have half progress on this one. Possibly closer on the other one because we do have another survivor who is setting up for the save. A pain resonance happening there, though, making it so that generator doesn't pop just yet.
Yeah, Laser has gotten good progress on this gen that's often no man's land, and he should be able to pop it. We do see the chase potentially coming in onto Rocket here, who gets a little bit of an interesting mind game, as Rocket will take a tag and just immediately go on a gen thinking the Wraith will not commit. It appears to be the case, and it looks like Bubo is really deciding, you know what, I should go ahead and get my pop value. There will be working these gens. This will be interrupting Laser on his gen, and that should buy Laser enough time to complete his. Bubo will not commit as that gen pops, so looks like Bubo is interested in going back for the tunnel out as the unhook comes in while Bubo is pathing here. Hein will try to make his way to the main building. He is a little bit safer here. I don't think they know that Bubo doesn't have BAM yet. He did vault a window earlier, but Hein had left the tile, so they may not realize how safe this is, but we will have a body block coming in as Hein will instead be making his way towards Shack, and the lack of BAM really matters here because with BAM, main is not safe against Wraith, but without it, Hein is much better off. He will also win another 50-50 here as another gen is completed, and now Hein, having used the resources on the other side of the map, is now making his way to find a map where 2 gens have been completed, so he's perfectly free to chase here for as long as he wants. He even has the Shack pallet. He will be claiming this 50-50 on the Shack window, and he does not win it. This should be the down coming back to
Hein doing a very fantastic job and wasting a lot of time, letting the snipers get those 2 generators done on the Gallows side. Does interrupt that heal that was happening right there. He doesn't actually get rewarded with the down with it though, but because of Sloppy Butcher, it does make that heal progress go down. We do see some generator progress that is happening at main, so Pedro was diligently, or sorry, one of the other survivors was diligently working on that, so they did get a little bit more generator progress for that chase, and we do see one of the resets happening over here. These 2 survivors are running around, possibly trying to also get back to main, which is a really good looping spot, like we said. Ooh, and they're playing so very well, winning a lot of these 50-50s, which they are 50-50s because this is same ping. And while the Wraith is distracted getting an M1 right there, the save does happen onto the survivor in the basement. Hein not dying just yet. They're trying to get him out of there because basement's very difficult to save from, but now all 4 survivors are injured with Sloppy Butcher, meaning that they need to take the time to reset, especially because this chase with Hein is possibly considered to be on a timer because there's not a lot of resources that are available to him. Does get a wonderful stun right there, however, and he is zoned on this side of the map. Will he be able to get out of here to waste just a little bit more time? Will there be any body blocking hits? Yes, there is. Pedro coming in, taking a hit, trying to make his way towards main. I believe we did see a little bit of Rocket as well, possibly trying to delay that tunnel out just that little bit longer. We have 2 generators left. We have 1 survivor who is working on it. Yes, we do see Rocket here as well, able to take a hit. That is taking Sloppy Butcher hits, however. So now Hein is just up to himself over here in the corner. Can he waste just a little bit more time?
Hein is buying so much time for his team. We are also seeing one of the major weaknesses of M1 killers in sets against really good teams. It's so easy to just play for body blocks, and you can't do a whole lot about that as the Wraith here.
Oh my god! How did he miss that? He was just like ducked under his swing. Oh my god.
Yeah, we will have one reset coming in. So we know we've seen 1 generator is being worked. Survivors have been healing in the distance, but not quite in time to be able to take another body block for Hein. So we will be coming into the 3v1 with 1 gen remaining and 2 survivors injured. So there is room for Google here to try and snowball if he can find these injured survivors caught out of position.
We also see a survivor who just hopped right onto Gallows. They're playing so super hyper aggressive. Oh, and that generator does get done over there in the corner.
We have to be careful here because we had seen Hein chase here previously. The resources on this side of the map are a little bit scarce. Rocket will make the vault. Very good time to be a 1v1 player as he has a couple powers that he can see on any means necessary, in fact, as Google will just leave, head on over to Gallows, and we will see Rocket and Laser attempting to meet up to go for a reset, as Pedro is going to take a tag after falling off Gallows. He doesn't really have anything to work with. He will be able to make the main, and they now certainly know that Bubo has not brought Bamboozle to this game after Hein chase and Shack, but Bubo can tend to take that hit and leave. In the 3v1, it becomes so much simpler for the Wraith to play for this hit and run style because you just don't have the manpower to try and complete this, as this will be 1 kill coming in, but it's immediately undone And now, in a position where 3 survivors are injured, Bubo can actually commit to a chase where there are very few resources left over. This pallet is not super safe. Most of the safe pallets on the map are gone. Rocket has accepted his fate. He will just go ahead and die in comp corner.
Trying to die as far away from all the other generators as possible. We do see Laser kind of stealthing off to the left there, possibly trying to make it so that he can get this unhook for free. Will the Wraith read it though? Will he try to go for it? He does get a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, popping that generator that had a lot of progress on Gallows. So now he can go over there and try to scout out who was working on it, or he can decide to stay near Hook. We'll have to see what Bubbo decides. The whole map is his playground. He still has a charge of Pop Goes a Weasel as well. That's kind of like the bad part about this 3v1 is that he has so many slowdowns available to him. His Sloppy Butcher, he has Pain Resonance, he has Pop Goes a Weasel. They try to go for a little bit of a reset over here, but not able to get it in time. A little bit of a traffic jam as well. We have multiple survivors here who can possibly take it down, and it will be Laser, who was not on the hook just yet. And we know for a fact that this is a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. So if he plops him down right here, we will see, yes, more regression that is coming onto that generator at Gallows that was so very close to be getting done, but not anymore. We also have a pop charge, so if they decide to stop that regression by getting it past that little bit, he'll just go over there and he'll kick it, making it regress even more. While we're seeing some patience for the Rocket in the 1v1. Oh, not giving up the hit just for free just yet. Possibly trying to keep the Wraith over here so he doesn't get this generator done. However, the Wraith just leaves chase and is deciding to come and check out for these survivors over here. This is kind of a close 3-gen as well. The Wraith, who is a little bit faster while he is in cloak, is able to just pressure all of this at once. All the survivors are injured. The chases can't last too long. There's a lot of dead zones now that a lot of resources have been used.
It really is a numbers game at this point. The survivors had gotten a lot of progress with the tunnel on behind, but by the time that was done, the injuries that they sustained from the body blocks, the resources being used on the map, even with a gen spread that they have, which is pretty good, they just don't have the resources available, including their own health states, to last against this. The downs will now just be coming in far too quick, the regression will be coming in, and the survivors really should not be able to pop any more gens from here. It is only a matter of time, as they're not even really able to go for a reset. As we saw the last time they could get one of their health states back, Bubo found them immediately and just took it back. Rocket is actually gonna go ahead and try and get this generator done. I don't know if Bubo is going to find him here. He is heading this way. This should be the interruption coming in and possibly a death.
And we do have a kick that happens right there. Pop Goes a Weasel getting the regression. Rocket will be hopping back on it almost immediately, trying to pressure the Wraith away from the other 2 survivors who are able to get the unhook. We can see over there that they are resetting, meaning that we're going to take the time to try to get ourselves healthy, but Rocket not able to buy any more time for his chase because there's just no more resources left. We've spent so much time in this game so far, and Bubba doesn't even want to take the time to hook Rocket. He wants to go and try to find this reset, which does happen. We had just a little bit more time. We could have reset both of us, but Pedro is the only one. Laser over here, who is, I believe, on Death Hook as well, so his death meaning that it will be a 2v1.
Yeah, I'm curious why they decided to reset Pedro and not Laser here, since that, yeah, Laser is, well, okay, Laser having these healing perks, Empathetic Connection, and Better Than New is probably technically more time efficient for him to get that heal first. It's less likely to be interrupted, but now he himself is in a very vulnerable position. This should be a down to him if the mechanics are played correctly, but Laser will be able to make this, and there's no Bamboozle on the Wraith, so Pedro returning the favor and giving him that body blocking time, and this is buying Rocket time to get back on probably that water tower gen, so Google going to leave and try and pressure that again. Rocket will have to try and get out of here, and he does have an Iron Will to help buy him some time without being caught, but he is going to be found anyway, and there's not much he can do here except for short block. As the reset's coming in, it is not generator progress, which means when Rocket goes back on that hook, it's going to be a Pop Goes the Weasel kick onto his gen, and all of the progress that was lost previously, that was gained previously, is going to be lost. They do successfully complete both resets, the Sloppy Butcher having worn off on Laser from the initial hit. We have a head-on possibly being set up, but I really think it's a little bit too late to try and make a recovery in this game.
These generators spread is just so very close, and they don't have hardly any progress that is available to them. Pedro is our last Scourge hook Pain Resonance, meaning if he does get hooked at any other point and they have generator progress, it could mean that that generator will be regressed, and we still do have Pop Goes a Weasel. So any sort of hooks that happen from these scenarios means that we're just losing that much more progress on our generators, and we do see that Pedro does go down. He's not Death Hook, meaning that the 3v1 is still alive, but like I also said, this could be a Pain Resonance hook depending on the hook spawn RNG. It does seem like the Wraith has taken the time to carry the 2-1. Yes, indeed, there it is. The Calamity might not have been expecting that. They didn't get off of the generator. We don't know for sure, but we are able to stop the regression on the Gallows generator. Are we going to be a little bit more aggressive? Yes, because Rocket here is injured and getting chased around main building. It's not a huge enough time sink. I'm thinking, are we able to outplay this mind game? No, we are not. Rocket doing a very good job of just delaying his down just that much longer. Calamity has not given up yet, however. Oh my gosh, a short swing! We're just buying just a little bit more time. Maybe we can possibly chug out that last generator. In Wraith sets such as these, the last generator getting done can mean the difference between a win and a loss. Bubbo knows this as well. He's choosing not to spend as much time chasing just one survivor. He wants to get that 4K1, and these survivors are not giving it for free.
Oh yeah, 4K1 is like a very interesting break point in terms of win conditions as a survivor team going into that. And so I think Bubo knows he's going to secure that as long as he plays even, slightly competently from this point. He just has to be careful to not get too caught up in chasing one survivor, which he is doing a good job of doing so far. The survivors have we'll see, we got Pedro being caught out here a little bit. He's the only injured survivor, but two healthy survivors being able to work on the other side of the map. Pedro will go ahead and commit to his death in the comp corner, and possibly a locker if he can. But I don't know if he'll be able to get gens done for this.
See just a little bit more time. Yes, Pedro is also not even Death Hook as well, so he could be placed on a hook and saved.
We do have laser nearby for this save. So if Bubo goes to pop the water tower gen, then this will be an instant pull, and at least laser is the one with heal perks. But yeah, it's only a third progress on the water tower gen, so there's just not, even if laser had been doubling that one, they were not going to pop it. It's just so difficult to get through this stage of the game. But the Calamity survivors are putting up an incredible fight, trying to drag that last gen out of this situation. But it's looking like it's just not going to happen.
They are playing so aggressive because they need to. That Pop Goes a Weasel charge also could have been applied to Water Tower. I don't believe we actually saw it happen. Instead, Wraith is going for attack here on Laser. Any new chase that happens after this does mean that it will be the 2v1. Rocket is the only one who... oh my gosh, we're getting so close to getting that blocked. We did apply our Pop Goes a Weasel to that. And it's going to be regressing. It's getting dangerously close to the allotted 8 regression events that are allowed by behavior. Everybody is injured. The resets are possibly happening over here at main. No, they're just pressuring generators. They're trying to squeeze it out. They are all out of resources. They're all out of health states. They're all out of everything. Yes, and Laser will be going down over here, and Bubba will be taking this hook on this 3v1. They're desperately here trying to just double this one out. Maybe Rocket is going to try to sneaky around to try to get another generator started. What they really realistically need is that they need a good chase. They need a good chase, but Bubbo is playing out of his mind. He is not letting the survivors take him on any sort of wild goose chase for any allotted amount of time.
Yeah, I will say Bubo is being very, very nice on survivors, 12 hooking them in this game. So we're not going for now. He will be slugging for the 4K, so maybe a minus rep for that from Rocket here, who is trying to not be seen, but he will in fact be seen. We see that Wraith sneaking up on him. He has no wagon pallet. He doesn't even make it to this corner. I think this will be the down onto Rocket, so that 4K1 will be completed. And that will establish what the win condition is for Ariandel survivors when Calamity gets their shot at playing the Wraith Killer to decide who will be victorious in this matchup.
A 4K1, it is a meetable, it is a beatable result. We'll have to see what the Calamity Killer can pull out through here. We're gonna just kick hatch. No, Pedro, you are not getting out through there. I don't believe adrenaline is allowed in this set, but you know, just in case, we are cleaning up this match. And like you said, it was a 12-0 game. Very, very nice of Bubbo to do that. We're gonna take the time, we're gonna switch sides, we're gonna put Calamity on the killer and see what they can do. Don't go anywhere, anybody. We will be right back.
All right, welcome back to the presumably final game of Ariandel versus Calamity. We will have Rocket playing Wraith for Calamity, trying to top a 4K1 win condition, the classic for Wraith DDS, but he is not quite able to... Actually, no, I take that back. He will find a survivor crossing through the middle of the street. He finds another one working on a gen in the middle of the street. This will be the chase starting onto Bubo. This time, I believe Rocket does have Bamboozle, which will help him out in these chases a little bit, as Bubo will lose a reminding on that water tower and take his distance to Shack. This will allow him to make it to the Shack out in time at least, and being able to drop good pallets early on will help you immensely against M1s. Yes, that Bamboozle is coming in, and you see a double ball from Rocket, but into the pallet stunning cloak. That is going to be a very, very punishing stun, and will buy Bubo time to go basically wherever he wants.
And we are seeing more Bamboozle play coming out from Wraith this game. Something we haven't been seeing from the other Dead Dog killers. Bubbo doing a very good job of delaying the first down that is happening. However, he is running out of resources. Rocket, famous for his 1v1. The survivor will be coming in, however, to take another hit, allowing the first down to not happen just yet. We do have some Bamboozle blocking that window, and then we do have Shack Pallet biting the dust at 5 generators once again. However, we are on this side of the map that does have a lot of playable tiles, but will we seeing a down happen just yet? No, but we are getting stuck just a little bit. First down happening at 5 generators. This is exactly the kind of start that Rocket needs.
And not only that, but this down is in the middle of 2 gens that were already being worked, so they're getting interrupted with... That's not a Painter's hook, but it is going to interrupt the Gallows gen, as Arima just able to pop his gen in time.
And we do have Rima over here getting caught out. We do have Sloppy Butcher, so all these hits that are happening are going to take a long time to recover from. We do see Bubbo, who is making his way towards main. However, we do have Bamboozle, so it's not just a horrible place to loop. We don't have Popsicles and Weasels, so that kick that happened on the Gallus generator was a dry kick. We didn't have any regression happening to generators because, like you said, that was not a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. Possibly what Rocket was planning to do was to interrupt those generators and camp a 3 gen on that side of the map, but was not able to do it. Ariandel survivors playing extraordinarily well. Now all 4 of them are injured. Will Rocket decide to still go for his tunnel out? It does seem so, because oh my god, another generator gets done! These survivors are just showcasing how good their generator pressure is being right here. We have 1 stage. All 4 survivors are injured, so they might take the time to reset, they might not. Considering that their win con is just to pop all 5 generators, that could be what they're going for, except now they are taking the time to reset. Double heals coming out onto this middle street area. It could possibly be interrupted. Rocket knows when the reset is happening. Yes, he sees all 3 of them. There's no generator progress right now to speak of, but Rocket only has 2 stages, and Bubbo is on Death Hook, but he's Death Hook near main. So even if he does get unhooked, it could still take a little bit of time to get his tunnel out.
Yeah, Ariana survivors have done a good job of breaking any possible 3 gens, so taking the time to reset will put them in a much better situation. Yes, even if Rocket is able to get this tunnel out, but there's an FTP coming in to make Bubo healthy again, so it's going to be even more difficult for him to secure this 3v1, and if he does, he's going to be in a situation where the survivors are not all injured as previously, and he's not going to have Pop Goes the Weasel to make that 3v1 even more punishing. He might have actually lost where Bubo is, so his tunnel out is just not going to happen this game. And this is an absolute tragedy for Rocket, as he now has basically no good targets, although he will find Hargle here. He should be able to make this pallet.
Oof, he does indeed make the pallet, able to drop it, making it so another down doesn't happen just yet. The survivors are playing so very well, able to delay all of these downs. They're looping so incredibly that for the people play coming in clutch as well, making it so the tunnel out doesn't happen, which usually does happen in these comp level games. A 3v1 is just way easier to win than a 4v1. You know, you have multiple survivors that can be occupied, especially with hooks and generator progress. We saw that last game, how the 3v1 was just dragged out for so very long because it's just difficult to keep up with like the killer pressuring chase, pressuring hooks, pressuring generators with all those slowdown perks. We do still have 4 stacks of pain resonance up. Will we be seeing the first use of it? Yes, we will. Arima will be our first pain resonance, and it happens on the generator right next to Hook, meaning that there isn't a lot of progress on the other generators that are in the trial. However, all 3 survivors are healed up. They could stealth for the save if they choose. They could just sit on generators if they so choose. We'll have to see exactly how the survivors tend to play this out, if they're going to play it slower, or they can play it super hyper aggressive. We do know where Bubbo is here on main, but like I said, that's such a huge time sink. Rocket does seem to find Bubbo, who is over here. Will we be seeing him go for this huge time sink to try to get that 3v1 that he so very wanted earlier in the game?
He's gonna get his first hit. Actually, that might even be the first hit. Bubbo has a pallet. He does actually have, with windows, quite a few other pallets he can see, and Rocket is just going to leave him, maybe trying to find where Arima is before he can get reset, but that is our 4th generator being popped. We have reached tie condition at a minimum, but with 4 survivors still in the game, and the only deathloop survivor being healthy, Wraithing an M1 really biting here. This will be a tag onto Exiles, but Rocket really going to struggle to hold these remaining generators. He cannot afford to let one go. We will be finding Arima once again, but this setup was paying off for Arima previously, so this is essentially round 2 on this tally, but we will actually have Hardwell coming in to take a hit. Actually, no, he says, I don't want to take a hit for you after all. Sorry, bud, you're going to die on the pallet instead. We're going to play for a pallet save.
And we don't know if there's other survivors also hovering. They could just be working on generators. The survivors have done a very good job of just pressuring around the map. We hear as we walk by as well that there's generator progress on that generator at 1. We also have main, which is Bubbo just diligently working there. It is such a huge time sink to just get up there, and it's halfway done. These survivors are doing such a fantastic job of pressuring every aspect of this game against Rocket as well, who is known for being a very, very good player. All these survivors are just playing so very well.
Yeah, I think Rocket's win condition here, or tie condition really at this point, would be to get that tag onto Bubba and to try and chain down these survivors. They are not quite able to reset, but if they just play it a little bit patiently, they should be able to grind out that last gen. This will be the pallet stun onto Rocket and the blind, so Arima will be getting away from here, but Rocket just not going to commit. He does kind of have a gen cluster here, but Bubbo being healthy, getting that main building generator 75%, and he's basically forcing Rocket to try and commit to him here, but with these walls not broken, it's going to take him some time. He is actually just going to commit to Bubbo here. This should buy the other survivors time to reset at least, as Bubbo will be taking that tag, and we see Arima at least being healed in the distance.
And Bubba was our tunnel out. It would be a very good idea to actually get him out of the trial, but there's just so many resources that are still available to him. Rocket needs these survivors to lose every single 1v1, but even then, there is a body block that we can possibly see. Yes, there they are. Is it Adam? Yes, he is able to take a hit, delaying this down again. We don't want any sort of regression perks to be activated. Arima and Exiles probably working on the generators that are over here. They don't even need to play super hyper aggressive. They can just play it slow because they do have the upper hand with all 4 survivors being alive. They had so much progress on that generator, but they're not committing, possibly not being able to commit in time. Hardwell and Bubbo are just across the map, just taking the time to reset because they can. Yep, Bubbo is healed now. Now they're going to try to heal Hardwell through Sloppy Butcher. It does take a little bit more time, but, you know, it's worth it. We don't want to make a 3v1 scenario like this, especially because these generators are so very close. Goes for a hit just like that. And we do have another survivor who is injured, but at this time sink that keeps happening, which is like these back and forths with these injures that keep happening, it's just, will it be enough for Rocket to be able to pull out at least a tie condition from this?
Yeah, this is Ariandel's game. Survivors know this. Just play it patiently. play it calculated, play it coordinated, and you should be able to pop that last generator. Rocket is doing a good job of making this a little bit slower, but if the survivors are able to regroup a little bit, they could just split 2 and 2 on these gens, and one of them is surely going to pop. Main building is the one that keeps getting pressured. Hardwell now the one trying to get that up. It is 2/3 of the way there, and we will see if the chase will be continuing. Yes, but this time Hardwell has got a decent amount of distance. We will have that door being broken, but before Hardwell is in a position where he can get tagged, actually, well, yeah, he will make this pallet, so this should not be a tag onto him. He will play 50-50 on this pallet. Not a very good one, but he will just make it to another tile, as if all 4 survivors have been reset. We are looking at 4 healthy survivors with only 1 gen left they need to pop. And Rocket really just can't commit. He just runs to his teammate, and that means that he's either got a body block coming in, or he has a reset happening immediately. And unfortunately for the survivors, well, a little bit, Exize, who is our Medal of Man player, is not the one who has been taking these hits. It would be very interesting to see that Medal of Man being activated, but we actually have a little bit of a spectator bug on this damage icon. That's a new one for me, at least.
Yeah, I don't know. It sometimes happens when you switch during like a damage event. I don't know. The UI just kind of gets stuck there. Both the killer and survivors are just like playing so very well with these 1v1s, but it's just taking so much time. They're playing so very slow. They don't want to be knocked out of this tournament just yet. They keep pressuring this main building, which actually keeps taking hits like that. It's getting so very close to the 8 mark where you can't damage it anymore. We also saw that 2 survivors were over here, doubled on this generator. Now if they just split the time, there's 4 survivors left in this game, right? They can just split generators. They can pressure them so incredibly much. It seems like possibly they're trying to just make it so it's a 4-man out. And they will be getting this generator done right here, and that will secure the win for this matchup today to Ariandel.
Yeah, and I think I speak for a lot of you all to say finally the Wraith set will be coming to a close. These sets can really drag on, but that is how you are supposed to play them. You have to be patient, because otherwise the Wraith will snowball very quickly. He's very good at punishing mistakes, and the teamwork that we've been seeing on display in these last 2 sets, with the body blocks coming in for teammates, punishing the M1 killers, has been honestly a very good display. As now we've got a actually, no, this was an FCP reset, so this will be the down onto Arima here, as Hardwell will be taking distance. This door is actually not the one which is open, but again, M1 killer, Wraith does not have Noed here, so anyone taking a tag should be able to make it to the other door, no problem.
And like you said, this is M1 killer, so they can just take as many tags as they possibly want. Are they trying to go for a 4-man out? We don't know. Arima here is just kind of slugged. He's just sitting right there. Oh, he was trying to play for a hatch. We'll have to see what the survivors tend to do. No, they're just going to take their escape. They took their W, and that's all they need. This last match took so very long, but we saw that Ariandel wanted to win this so very bad. Both incredible teams. It was so very close, but Ariandel did play just a little bit better and will be coming out on top. Very well played to both sides, Calamity and Ariandel. Very nice showing today. That is our first matches of the day, and we have our next matchup, which will be Sinners versus Oh Boy.